All right, sports fans and fellow anglers, it's your guy Dave out here with a quick tutorial on the beginner guy, the guy that's never been on a fishing boat as far as tunas, full days, doesn't know what he's really doing and wants to get at least some tips. Because when I first began, I knew nada. I still don't know very much, but I know enough to catch a tuna. So I'm only targeting the guys that aren't sure what they're doing yet and need to get a little bit of insight before they get out there. You pro anglers, I get it, man. You guys are gonna probably bash me, but that's okay. This is not directed towards you. It's for the guy that is beginning new, doesn't know what he's doing, and I wish I would have seen a video like this. So that's why I'm trying to give a little bit of information, a little bit of insight into some things that I have learned. So let's talk about the gear, guys. If you don't have any gear, you can run on the boat, that's fine. But if you're gonna start getting into it, you need to get a certain amount of gear that's going to help you fight different size fish. For example, my jig stick, 9 feet long, Graph Tech, got it from San Diego Traders. Thanks, Dave and Mike. It's got a Thorium 20 on it, very light for me to handle. Like I said, it's a 9-foot stick. This is what I throw my surface iron on. So when they're boiling on top, and you know what I mean by a boil, you guys know, if you're not familiar with that, that's when you're out there on the boat and you see in the distance the captain yells, boil! You see birds diving in the water and they're diving, they're crashing, they're hitting the remnants of the bait fish that the tuna are chasing. This is what you want to throw your surface irons on. So the whole idea behind a jig stick is to get out there as far as possible. So you want to have your surface iron tied on here good, get a good knot. If you don't know how to do it, have the deckhands do it. That's what they do. Whip that baby as far as you can out there and reel it in fast. And what the tuna do is they see that surface iron scurrying across the top while they're in a frenzy eating bait. So you need a jig stick. You need something that you can toss some iron for, okay? Now, secondary, let's say the fish are on the bottom. You go out, the captain says, hey guys, they're a few fathoms down, the fish are 200 feet down. In that case, I will do yo-yo fishing on my Saltiga 30. Now, a lot of guys are gonna say, why do you have a Saltiga 30 on a Torres rod? Because this rod is rated 200 and I can pull up some tuna with this. And I like the fact that it's short, it's a little stout, and I can rip it up fast. Because here's the thing about yo-yo fishing. When you're yo-yo fishing, and you have a heavy, let's say Salas 6X on there, my favorite color, and I'll show you those in a minute, is the red pelagic crab. When I drop that down 200 feet, and I rip that bad boy up as fast as I can, you gotta remember, tuna are predatory fish. So when they see that action, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna bite, right? If you're doing this, yo-yoing, they're not gonna be very interested. So remember, get something that's light for you, for me, that I can handle and I can yo-yo several times. Because imagine if you don't get bit until your 6th or 7th time trying to rip that lure up. And then you get bit on the 8th and he's a good sized tuna, and now you're already tired. So for me, it makes sense to have something that is light, yet powerful and durable. So remember that when you're doing the yo-yo fishing, you want to rip it up as fast as you can, but not come all the way to the top of the surface and then let it drop down again and rip it again. Again, if you get bit on the first or second one, hey, more power to you. If you don't, you're going to be yo-yoing all day long. A lot of guys can do that. A lot of guys get burned out. Sometimes I won't get a bite from maybe 7 or 8, and then I'll get a nice sized tuna, and then I have to rest because I'm an old guy, right? So anyway, this is my Saltiga setup for the yo-yo fishing. Now, live bait. So what I have for my live bait, guys, is I have another Thorium, but this is a Thorium 16 with a 7-foot rod. So I will put my hook on there, look for a nice live sardine. Remember, that's the trick between getting bit on live. You gotta have a nice lively sardine to attract their attention. Once you cast that bad boy out there, you don't wanna throw it too hard and make him hit the water fast and shock his body. You want a good, nice swimmer. Once he's swimming and he's going away from the boat and you see him going and that line picks up speed, you're ready. He's gonna bite. So what I do normally is when I see that line take off and I know my sardine is in his mouth, he's getting chomped on, I'll wait 1001, 1002, 1003, click, set it, bring his ass in. So this is my live bait rod, right? Again, not very heavy rod, good enough to do the job. The pole is rated pretty good. It's a Talus Shimano again on a Thorium 16, and that works for me for live bait. So now we've got 3 setups. We've got our fly line, we've got our yo-yo, we've got our fly. Now, if the captain says, hey guys, and this happened to me 2 weeks ago, if you have less than 60-pound test, don't even go out there. So what I have for the heavier fish is I have a Fathom 40 2-speed that I know can crank up some tuna between 80 and maybe 200 pounders. The rod is not the best rod, but it's decent for what I got right now. And I plan on getting some wrapped rods later, but for now, this will do the trick. So if you're gonna throw a flat fall, you can let that flat fall sink, go through the columns of the water. You can jig it up a little bit a few times, let it sink again, because oftentimes tuna will bite it on the fall. Although they also do bite on the retrieve, so don't be surprised if you let it sink for a certain amount of columns, and then you begin to wind it up and bang, you're hit. So this is my, if the captain says it's a bigger school of fish rod. Again, it's not the top notch quality gear, but it's great gear and it works for me. Okay, and then finally, if we went to a school of barracuda, bonita, smaller calico bass, then I go to my Fathom 400, which is similar to the Lexa 400, similar to the Tranx 400 on a Torres rod too. That's very super light. So when I'm fishing this, I'm using light gear. I might use swim baits. I might use iron. I might use smaller flat falls, something shiny that I know the barracuda hit all the time. And to me, this is just for having fun. So I use this when I'm, again, fishing for light tackle. So I go, let's say this will go over 20-pound test. I got 30-pound test set up, 40-pound test set up, 60, 100-pound setups. So whatever the captain says, I have enough equipment right now for a beginner guy to be prepared for whatever we might see, okay? Excluding cows, which are 200 and over. But I'm ready for anything under 200 pounds when I go out. Now, let's talk about the gear, the tackle. So when I'm fishing, yo-yo fishing, I love to use flat falls. So depending on the current, the water temp, what's biting, I'll go with 150 to 250 grams. I just got these today, guys. These are brand new. These flat falls came in today, and they are my favorite red and pelagic orange color. You see that bad boy? Would you bite that? Now on a flat fall, when you just like, again, when you throw that bad boy out there, you just let it fall, let it flutter through the waters, okay? You don't get bit after a certain amount of columns. Jig it a few times, bring it up, do it again. That's what I use. Now when it comes to smaller fish, I will throw this smaller flat fall because barracuda, for example, and bonita, they just want something shiny that's gonna get their attention. So you cast that bad boy out as far as you can, and I love doing it on my bait caster. I can cast a country mile. Cast it out as far as you can, and then just bring it in. And a lot of times they'll bite on their retrieve, they'll follow it all the way into the boat. So there we go for that. When it comes to my irons, again, so all these are surface irons, okay? Blue and white, go-to color. Mint gets bit often, regularly. My favorite color, again, the pelagic red and orange. I love that color. CF Fisher, he showed me that color. Another go-to, right? Candy bar, good. Yellow egg, scrambled egg, that's a good color. It really doesn't matter what color you use. You never know what's gonna bite, and you just nobody can tell you that one color is particular over the other. And then I have my cold snipers. So when it comes to cold snipers, again, if you guys don't know by now, my go-to. I absolutely love pelagic red and orange. That is my favorite color. I've had a lot of luck with these bad boys. They work, okay? So here's a cold sniper. Now, the way you fish a cold sniper is, again, you cast that bad boy out on a boil, or if the fish are somewhere near the mid columns, cast that bad boy out as far as you can and just rip it in. And I've often got bit on these. Now, if you get a brand new one, they're gonna have the factory hooks. You wanna put some assist hooks on there. You don't want the factory hooks that are on there. None of my cold snipers have the factory hooks, none of them. So that's there. And again, I go from 60 grams, 40 grams, 80 grams, 100 grams. 100 is probably the heaviest one I have. And they work well. So there's your cold snipers. Then you have your smaller junior chatties, which are also good to have. So just remember, guys, you can throw a junior tatty 4-aught, and that will be just as good Sometimes you don't want to throw the big ones, the 6X. Sometimes you want something shorter and smaller, and they're gonna bite. Tuna can be finicky. You never know what they're gonna bite. But again, what you want in your arsenal is you want to be set up for whatever may occur, right? That's the key to fishing. So I'm going on a trip on 6/8/2021 tomorrow on a San Diego full day. Wish me luck, guys. I'm a little bit concerned because, hey, they went out today, and if you're in San Diego and you know on 6/7/21, the weather was crappy. But guess what? They got 34 bluefin tuna. So if they can find them in that weather, I think we can find them tomorrow. Tight lines, guys. And the last thing I want to talk about, if you're new on a boat, you've never fished a tuna boat before, you're not sure what you're doing, listen to the deckhands, get all the information you can, and please follow your fish. That's my one thing that a lot of guys don't do. In fact, so many guys don't do it that when I go on a boat and I don't know everybody on that boat, and they said the first boil, the captain says, they're out there, start chumming, start throwing bait. Get out there, you guys. I literally sit back and wait and see how people move. And if they're not in synchronized swimming mode, where everybody's moving together, following their lines, you got a guy, for example, on the freaking bow, and his freaking line is way down there aft, and he's down there, and we get bit, guess what's gonna happen, people? So hopefully you're gonna be on a boat your first time where you're not gonna be that guy who's way over there and his line is way over there and everybody gets bit and then you cause a mass confusion. So that's really important. Follow your lines. You can see which way it's going. You can see the current. Sometimes the boat's on a drift anyway. You can see it moving. Move with it. That's not hard, guys. That's something that a lot of people can't stand. And I'll be honest with you, when you're brand new, and let's say my boat has 34 people and there's brand new guys on there, I know at least 2 or 3 are gonna get sick. And I'm sorry to say this, but well, now there's only 30 people fishing. And that guy that has a bait caster, and he's out there and we get bit by a 60, 40 pound class tuna, dude, you cannot bring a BB gun to a gunfight. That's another thing. And I used to do that, I'm not gonna lie. I used to bring bait casters all the time on boats, not realizing that I'm going to either get spooled or fight a fish so long that people are gonna get pissed and we need to move to another spot, because remember, tuna keep moving. So I hope these tips help you guys out, especially beginners, because again, when I was first doing this, nobody helped me. I didn't know what I was doing. Trial, error, going on boats, making people mad, doing the wrong thing. So I'm trying to help you. Enjoy.